Hey guys, Patrick here in Southwest Fort Worth, and I wanted to do a little video of kind of voiceover. I went and just got back from speaking at the Oklahoma Aquarium Association, and the meeting was in Edmond, and this is the Oklahoma City branch of the Oklahoma Aquarium Association. So I was able to speak there, and I wanted to show you guys the video that I made yesterday morning, do a little voiceover of what I talked about when I was giving a little talk about my system here. Before I do that, I want to talk about Aquashella. Aquashella is an event that's happening in Dallas, March 30th and 31st. And one thing they've asked a lot of the YouTubers and fish tubers out here to do is talk about something they're doing. They're giving it to two different charities. Project Piaba, which goes in, if you see like some of these cardinal tetras that I have in here, they go and make sure these Amazon fisheries, these fisheries in South America are sustainable, because a lot of these people that are in these regions, they'll go and they'll harvest a lot of these, say, like cardinal tetras, because they're an annual fish. And so they can be successfully harvested and given to the aquarium industry, and it helps those industries there in that region, and it's a sustainable fishery because those numbers come back up, and you can learn more about it, Project Piaba. The other thing they do is a coral restoration foundation. It restores corals. There's a whole Netflix video about the coral degradation that's happening, and so they are looking to go and restore a lot of these corals. Both are great foundations, great charities, and I'm for both, and I'm glad that Aquashella is donating to both. So I'm gonna have some links of all of that there. I will be at Aquashella. I'm helping Bristlenose Dude there at his table, so come by, say hi to me. If you want to order some fish beforehand, holler at me, get with me. I'll put my email down in the description, Facebook link, along with the Aquashella stuff. And even if you're in the area and you're not from this area and you want to do a fish room tour, you want to come by and hang out after Aquashella, holler at me. I'm cool with that. I'd love to show off my fish room and what's going on. Alright, so without any further ado, here is the video that was explaining my system that I gave at the Oklahoma Aquarium Association today. Some inspiration I had when deciding to incorporate aquaponics with the fish room is just being fascinated with some of these cut IBC totes, where regular aquaponics, and again, if you're not familiar with aquaponics, it's a combination of aquaculture, breeding fish for eating, or aquarium fish, decorative fish, that aquaculture, and then hydroponic, this soilless growing of different plants. A lot of times it's produce, but it can be whatever. And that's what the combination of the two, the aquaponics, so that you have the plants filtering the water for the fish, and the fish providing the nutrients for the plants to grow. And I would see these, and there's a picture here, this aquaponics cut tote. In these totes, they would raise trout, tilapia, catfish. And my idea was that if that grow bed and the plants in there could handle the bioload of those big fish, that humongous bioload, then certainly it could handle the bioload of aquarium fish. But scouring the internet, when I did, I couldn't find anything that really incorporated the two at a good level. I mean, you might have some pothos in some, or you have some people growing a few plants or herbs, but nothing on a big scale, nothing that rivaled the bioload of these bigger fish. So I decided to do it. And so what I did is I wanted to have a sunroom built so I could take advantage of natural sunlight. Here's a sunroom right here. And as we're about to walk in, the sunroom has 2x6 walls. I'll be talking about the totes on the left here in a bit. The sunroom itself, I just had the addition built. My thinking was, for the price of a new car payment and full coverage insurance, instead of that I'll have used cars, and then I'll have a sunroom built, and that's what I did, thinking that also my area sunrooms retain 85% of their value, but this one I had to contract it out, so it should get more. And so I am shooting in the morning here. I love that lens flare. I think that's cool. I need to shoot in the morning more. Anyway, this is the cut IBC tote that I went and bought. The IBC tote, you can get these off Craigslist, sometimes Facebook Marketplace has them, things like this. Here's the other IBC tote, and you can see the plants that are growing here. I've got peace lily in the back. There's an ivy coming up. There's bamboo in here. There's aloe. I've got a tomato plant, cherry tomato plant. The pothos, but I have pothos everywhere in the room. And then we'll go ahead and look at this other IBC tote. There's that wonderful lens flare. I kind of like that. Here's the grow bed. Again, in the grow bed, you have a bell siphon. So I've drilled PVC coming up to the level that I want the water to rise until it drains. And with the bell siphon, it's a flood and drain system. So here I'm going to lift up the bell siphon for you. And right here, get a handle on it. Right here is the bell siphon. You see on the bottom there, that is going to be where water is going to come in. There inside is the PVC. And so water will go up to that level, and then it'll start going in there and it'll create a suction. That bell siphon will go and start to drain all that water until it breaks the suction right where it was cut down there. And so it's a flood and drain system. It does that all day, all night. It goes and floods and drain, floods and drain. Over here I have a cut rain barrel, but you can see where the water's coming out of there, and then it'll go into the bottom IBC. And instead of having fish like in a traditional one, tilapia and trout and stuff, I've just got it as a sump. When the pump is down there, you've got to follow the pump line all the way up. This is a 1/2 inch, 1.5 inch PVC, and the water line comes on. The water comes up the tube, ladder here. The water comes up the tube, and so you see as the water comes across, and it's going to make a loop. And at the end of this loop, I have a bunch of bell valves, okay, or water valves right there. And so the water, and then it comes back, it loops back around and goes back to the IBC tote right here. And it just continues to do that. And then I'm going to show you in a bit here how the water goes from the tanks, from the top level, and the middle level, the bottom level, and goes all the way down. But here I want to show you where the water comes back in. I have part of it goes down the sump, but part of it is going to the grow bed. So, and I can adjust the flow of that. That way I make sure I have water going to the grow bed so that the plants in the grow bed are getting nutrients from the fish. The fish feeding, they're filtering that water for the sump. We'll walk over here and we will see, I'm actually turn around so that we can see how the water comes from the top level to the middle level, then down to the bottom level. So right here you can see the water, it goes into this hang-on-back filter. Again, none of my hang-on-back filters are plugged in. It's all gravity fed. There, I can turn the water off. I can turn the water right back on. And you can see the flow going in to the hang-on-back filter. Drains down. Most of them I have pothos ivy in. You can put cartridges and type of media in there. And then on this other side, you can see at the top here, again, hang-on-back filter. Water lines going in to those hang-on-back filters. And over on this one, this particular one, I also have a line of fresh water coming in. This is fresh water right here. I tapped into the water line, and it's one of the freshwater inputs. We'll see the IBC totes. But anyway, right here you see this white. I've kind of netted it off with a net breeder, but it comes and it feeds down. The overflow feeds down to the next level, the middle level of the tanks, into, again, hang-on-back filter. You don't need the hang-on-back filters. I just had them, accumulated them over the years. But it goes in there, and then it goes and it overflows. This particular tank, I have drilled it, and then I also have a tank overflow because I wanted more flow going through. And then it goes into the Aquaclear 110 that's not plugged in. It's just a place where the water can come in. I have ivy going out, and there's also the 55-gallon. Both of these then overflow into the gutter. And here's water flowing in to the gutter. I wish I had some fish in this gutter. They got washed in the overflow. But anyway, so this gutter, it comes and it goes around back to that bottom sump. We're going to come over here and we're going to look at the bottom sump of this system and see if I can get a shot of the guttering. It's hard to see that way, but it does come back around L's and then flows in right here. And so this is where the guttering is going, right back in that sump. And then you also have water going into the grow bed, and it's just filtering that water like crazy. There, UV sterilizer, I have one on each of the systems here. So let's take a look at the other system, and I'll show you how it comes into this system. So right up here, you see the valves as well. The lines going into overflow, the hang-on-back filters. Pothos ivy coming in, comes up, and then it comes back to the IBC tote and sump cut system. You see, I've had these These are pre-gilled. I got them like that. But I plumbed them to go to the next level. 2, hang back filter with ivy or bamboo. This one, you see the bamboo right here. That's the bamboo. And then it feeds into the next level at the bottom. Hang back filter, and then the bottom level, the overflow, right into the guttering. Guttering feeds back around. Let's see if we can get it over here where it L's around. The reason I did guttering too is because I wanted it open. I wanted, if there's fish or I wanted to put plants in there or something, I wanted it to be open. I liked it open. You can use a PVC. A lot of people do with their overflows. But I like the guttering, and so I just use guttering. And the guttering goes back into the sump area. Right over here, in the water on the left, that's the UV sterilizer water. So I have water feeding into that too. And there's how it's drilled from the grow bed. Let's see if I can get a better shot where it's flowing out, because it's flowing out right now. And it's you kind of see at the end of the gutter, and then to the left, there it is flowing out of the grow bed. And it also has the bell siphon, so it's a flood and drain as well. It's full of lava rock. You can use a bunch of inert media if you want. I mean, you don't have to use inert media depending on what you want to do with your system. If you're doing that, but this is the lava rock that I filled mine with. Lava rock is fantastic because it's nice and porous. It's a great area for beneficial bacteria to colonize. And you can see they're going to go, and your plants will put roots in there, and they're just going to feed off of the nutrients that are in the grow bed. There's the other UV sterilizer that I have just for peace of mind, I guess. I saw them on Amazon. I decided to buy them. So let's take a look at some of the fish. These are some of my Bozeman rainbows. Here I've got the cardinals and ember tetras and rummy nose. Over here we've got a pair of rams. I'm hoping to breed. Rio top of swords, forgive the glare, it's early in the morning. This is just a quick view. These are angelfish I have growing out. I just want to give a quick overview of all the fish that I have, if you're not familiar, that are living and then breeding and growing in this system. Here's the big tank, the 125, with the Denison barbs and tiger barbs, and a bunch of other fish. We look over here. You can see the 75s and the 40 gallons, the different guppies and catfish, angelfish. There's a bunch of my bigger angelfish. Hopefully some of them are going to be pairing off. Here are the labs, sometimes hidden, but right now they're all in the front because I haven't fed yet. So now they're begging. These are 2 of my bigger angels. I've gotten some broods off of them. They're gorgeous. You see how big that male is. And as I'm going and giving a tour of the different fish, like the paradise fish here, you'll notice in the I've got under gravel filters, I've got sponge filters, I've got matin filters, I've got a lot of other filtration. Is it needed? Probably not, but I had them, I like them, and I figure you can't have too much areas for beneficial bacteria to colonize, because you'll only have as much beneficial bacteria. These are some of the Odessa barbs and black skirt tetras and glowfish. They're also growing out, again, separated by the matin filter there in 75 gallon. But your beneficial bacteria, you only have as many as that are being fed by your fish. So if it's not using all of the areas, it's fine with that. I can always have more. I'm okay with that. Here's some of my Bozeman, and you see this whole rack of the 925 gallons, and it mirrors on the front as well. You can see all the pothos ivy that's just growing everywhere. I actually took some to the event today and gave some away. And there's my pair of angelfish and some of the fry that I haven't got out. There's like 7 of them in there I need to get out. Let me see if I can turn on the light here for you so you can see some of more of the fish. These are these are some more of my Moscow black guppies. Here's the light. A lot of them with the Geisen gene. So you can see how many there are in there. I better shot of the angels. I've also got a 4-foot LED shop lights. That's what's growing all these plants. So you look in here, hornwort, guppy grass, growing like crazy. I've got other stuff. Some of the stuff that is the regular reds. some of the other plants that are in there with under gravel filters, because there's the shop light I was talking about. But the plants that are in there with under gravel filters, I have those in pots, white plants. And these are the 6500 Kelvin lights that I got off Amazon. They link together, so it's not really a power. Speaking of power, the stuff I have running here: dehumidifier, heater for the room, the 2 pumps, and then linear air pumps off of Genco that provide air for the whole room, and the UV sterilizers, and then the LED lights. There's some M-class starburst numbers, but not a whole lot of power being used in the fish room. I try to be conscious of how much power I'm using, but a lot of the stuff, I mean, it's the water's gravity fed. As soon as the water is pumped up by the one pump in the system, there's some of the newer rosemary fry, but gravity feeds the rest of it as it goes. A little drawback I've mentioned before, some of the red platies, and then more of the Odessa barbs and black split tetras, glowfish, just some platies in there, cherry barbs in here. But one of the trade-offs is that if something happens in one tank, maybe disease or something, then of course it's going to be in the whole system. And my 2 options are treat the whole system. Here's some electro blue Cara and Bozeman rainbows. But I can treat the whole system that way, or I can cut one, set of column of tanks off, and then treat that column. So here is where I plugged into the water line. Okay, doing an automatic water change, and then you can get some irrigation tubing. At the end, you can have, like this right here is a 3 gallons per hour that's supposed to be shooting out here, right there. So I have 3 gallons an hour, and when it goes in that tank, well, it gets back into the system, and it's doing this automatic water change. I have overflows in the sumps, and so then over there, I already went over that one earlier in the video, is where the other line goes. Again, 3 gallons an hour. That's one source of fresh water coming in, but I wanted to have like 5 or 6 gallons an hour coming into the system. So if you look right here, you see this hangleback filter, and right over there I've got like I think a 2 gallon an hour or a 3 gallon per hour, but it doesn't flow as much as the other one, which is fine. But that is all coming from the plumbed IBC totes that are outside. I've had people ask, well, how do I control the temperature? And I don't. It's such a little amount that there's no significant difference. It's not enough water that's going to change the temperature much at all in the fish room. So don't worry about it. Here I collect rainwater. It goes into this rain barrel. Heavy particles go down, and then as it goes, it drains water into there. And then here is where the pump is that is pumping water into the systems inside. And when there's not enough rainwater, I always try to keep this half full, so I'll just go and put hose water, just tap water from the hose into the system. And I have water going from one tote to the other with that pump as well. That's why it was teed off. And that way it's spraying water into the other tote. They're plumbed together. And so after a day of filling it up, I don't really have to worry about chlorines or chloramines. You do have to worry about chloramines. I'm not sure if I have any in my water. But anyway, this is where the line comes in. I'm not seeing any issues, and the only reason I have water coming in with this is because my nitrates were at like 20 parts per million, and I wanted to bring them down to 10, and so that's why I went and incorporated these 2 sources of fresh water coming in, kind of an automatic water change system. That way I don't have to worry about water changes. Because after having the system, I noticed that I was concerned I wouldn't have any nitrates actually, but I still do have some. Thanks so much, guys, for watching this video. If you liked it, you're learning something, maybe you have questions, go ahead and ask me in the comments. Subscribe if you like what you're seeing, ding the bell if you want to know when I'm putting out new material. Again, I appreciate you guys, and thanks so much.